So, Festival of Accord, the festival associated with Title Update 2. I've been playing it, and we've also done a session here with the community. Been basically hunting monsters nonstop, having a blast. How am I feeling about this particular event? I like it. I like it a lot. They've added quite a bit of new content, and an interesting thing, this is mostly going to be a Gunlands thing, obviously, but it does show kind of like the design philosophy of stuff that can potentially happen for other weapons as well. So I think it's important to talk about it. So the Corn Popper. Corn Popper came back. I had no idea what they were going to do with the Corn Popper. Naturally, they've stated that they want the Ardean weapons to be the kind of like the dominant force. They want those to be relevant long into the cycle of base Monster Hunter Wilds. And the Corn Popper came out, and it's a very interesting weapon because in terms of raw damage, there's no way that it can compete with almost any other Gunlands because it only has 190 raw damage. So the idea of the Corn Popper is that it doesn't actually compete, it just does something different. So the shelling style of the Corn Popper is strong. It is the only Gunlance that has a strong shelling style. Like all of the other ones have like slightly strong, slightly weak, normal. This one just says strong. So it's like a cut above all the other Gunlance in terms of shelling power. The problem is that that raw damage makes it go down quite a bit. But then Capcom was like, okay, but you're going to have a unique skill on it. It's called a crackling corn popper or whatever the hell it is. And basically, if you overheat the weapon, that means you do your 2 Wyvern Fires. It's going to increase the shelling damage significantly to the point where it becomes the strongest shelling Gunlance in the whole game when it's overheated. So the idea is that you need to keep the Wyvern Fires always on cooldown. So it's basically just a straight shelling Gunlance. So it doesn't replace any of the meta choices, but it gives you a different playstyle to kind of like strive for, which I would imagine is what they're probably going to try to do with a lot of the, weapons that they're adding for flavor. Like there's supposed to be a longsword. I haven't really unlocked that longsword yet. I don't know if that's going to be good, but I think that's a good thing. The variety of the weapon. It's not just like, oh, this isn't just a straight upgrade. This is a different playstyle. Kind of like in the same vein that when we got Akuma, that was also a different playstyle. Is it viable? Well, yes. I was using it with the team to go kill Arc-Tempered Duna, and we got like a crazy time. We got like a sub 11 at one point, which I think is good. I think is really good if you're just like shooting the shit and hunting the monster. So we were doing gangbusters. Now, obviously, it could just be the other 3 players carrying, but I don't feel like that. I feel like it was doing decent damage. Again, it is not meta, but it is viable. It's definitely viable, and it is a fun, different playstyle to shoot for, which is a good thing. But yeah, that's about it when it comes to the Corn Popper. Corn Popper, a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it being back. You get a bunch of new layered armor stuff that you can get. Like right now, we're using the festival layered armor on the thing in the corner here. We can actually go to full screen. I can show it off a little bit better. But yeah, we're using the festival stuff. We're using the Corn Popper, just having a good old time. The addition of the water guns on the thing on the hub was also a nice little surprise. You can play around with the water guns. You get a couple of new gestures. Now, there is also paid DLC, and I'm not the biggest fan of the paid DLC, particularly because the coolest skin for Sacred, for my personal taste, is now paid DLC, which I kind of wish that wasn't the case. I kind of wish that I would go on this quest. Like, wouldn't it be cool? Like, I think in a way, until you kind of like fix the performance, I feel like Capcom should slow down on the paid DLC. Absolutely. I think like at least until you fix the performance, which performance still not there. Like the Flamefete doesn't really solve anything. If you had performance issues before, you still probably have them now. This is still just Title Update 2 because there really wasn't like an update to the game at all. The whole thing was already installed in the game. We were just like, oh, you're in the game? just like leave the Grand Hub and come back at like 1 in the morning my time, and then boom, the event is live. But all of the event quests, at least all of the relevant event quests, are back. I still need to do some farming for some of the spring event quests because I was missing some gear there. We've been doing some of the daily stuff as well. There's lots of stuff to do, but I think one of the most important things that we got to talk about is difficulty, because we actually had a couple of people last night complaining about the difficulty because they were saying that Duna was too hard. Now, we soloed Duna last night, but on my very first attempt, we got Quadra-Carted. Because I had insurance, and I got Quadra-Carted. But, I was trying to use the Corn Popper, which is a very different playstyle from regular gun lancing. So I was still learning the Corn Popper. It was actually the first time I used the Corn Popper was on Arc-Tempered Duna, and I got a Quadra-Cart. So, you know, it is what it is. But on the second attempt, we got him with, like, regular gun lancing. But one of the things that I noticed is that Duna actually forced me, when I was doing him solo, it actually forced me into getting some defensive stuff. This guy's distracting me with the thing. Stop it! You can't do that! I'm going to lower the volume so that I can't hear it. But yeah, so Duna forced me to go get Iron Wall Deco in order to be able to block better, because the chip damage that Duna was doing was absolutely insane. It was killing me through chip damage, which was, yeah, it was very surprising. I wasn't expecting that. So that was a ton of fun. And the thing is, I think that this is the appropriate level of difficulty that I would want to have at the end of a base game. I'm talking about like before title updates, like the final couple of monsters. This is what I want. And what do I mean by what I want? By the way, I'm not saying that what I want is right or not. It's just for my personal taste, this is what I like. What I mean is, it is something that can be done solo, which Duna is perfectly soloable. For a lot of people, I've even seen online that they're like, oh, this is easier than Raidao. So, again, it's going to depend on your weapon and, you know, all of that stuff, right? But Duna gets to a difficulty level where it's like, you can solo it, but it feels much easier to farm if you're going at it in multiplayer. At least for me. Like, we've been doing him on multiplayer after I soloed him last night, and we've just been having a blast. It's been fairly simple. We get the odd cart here and there. But, like, that is where I feel Monster Hunter difficulty is kind of, like, at its best. When you can solo it, but you struggle, and then it feels just right when you're going at it in multiplayer. That's where I think... That's where I think things should go. Because like, that's kind of like the way that it was in some of the older games. At least for me, that's the way that it was. Where it's like, I can totally go and... I can totally go and solo some stuff. I couldn't solo everything, particularly in GU and playing Gunlance. I definitely couldn't solo everything. But it would always feel better to bring like 1 or 2 friends. Because at the end of the day, it's a multiplayer game. And the thing is, in the beginning of Wilds, that's not the experience that we had, right? Like, if I was bringing people in, it was just going to be a gathering quest. We're just going to go in there, brutalize the monster, and boom, done. The only exception to that was, like, Gormagala. But, yeah, I think they've done a fantastic job with Flamefete. The biggest thing still is they got to fix that performance. Until they fix that performance, people are still going to, you know, have issues getting back into the game, because if they can't run the game properly, then they can add all of this fantastic content, but for the people that can't play it, it's not going to change anything. So I definitely hope that they do more of that. We've also gotten, obviously, the Duna armor Gamma, which brings like some peak performance, I think some agitator as well, but it's got the protective veil and tool specialist, which is actually something that I'm using on this set. I'm going to be making a separate video talking about the set that I've been using with the Corn Popper. And maybe a set that I will be using even with regular gun lancing. We'll see if that is the case or not. But the Duna armor is definitely an interesting one with the protective veil stuff as well. Although, again, more testing needs to happen. But I like these little side grades where if you're just somebody that just wants the meta and the giga power creep and all of that, maybe a lot of these sets don't even matter to you that much, but this is exactly what I want. I don't want the Fatalis set again, where it's like, no, new monster, new set. New monster, new meta set. New monster, new meta set. It's like, no, that's... I want these little side grades that allow you to experiment and play around with all this different stuff, so... absolute blast. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Flamefete and all of that stuff, if you guys have been playing or not. Let me know in the comment section down below. But that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.